The long wait for Euro 2020 is finally over. In the build-up to the big kickoff, we are doing something special. We have scoured the Twitterverse to find a representative from each of the 24 nations competing in this summer's European Championships. We will be recording a preview with each representative who will be sharing views on their nation's hopes and expectations throughout the tournament, and most importantly, the fantasy assets we should be looking out for. Welcome to Euro 2020 Happy Hour. Hello and welcome to our Euro 2020 preview series with myself, Sham, otherwise known as FPL 2 Guys 1 Cup on Twitter.
And myself, Rob, otherwise known as FPL Panda.
Rob, we have another guest who is representing a country that qualified through the Nations League, and that is Slovakia tonight. And Michael, welcome.
Hello guys, hello.
How are you?
I'm good, yeah.
Good. Right,
Good.
Michael, you're from Slovakia. Tell us a bit about yourself, who you are, do you play FPL, what football team you support?
Hello everybody, I'm Michael, I'm from Slovakia. Perhaps as you might see, I support Chelsea.
Nice.
So, basically it's a long story, but there was another friend of mine supporting Manchester United, somebody was supporting Liverpool, so yeah, I picked Chelsea years ago. So that's who I support. I like football. I like to play FPL. This season I'm doing not so bad. I'm around 300k. So yeah, it could be better, but it's fine. Anyway, looking forward for last round of game week 38.
Nice. So Slovakia took a slightly different route through qualification. Rob, you're probably best placed to explain this than me or Michael.
We've said it a few times already that the Nations League and that route of entry is a bit of a rabbit hole of mystery, but also for success for some of the smaller nations, such as Slovakia. So they had they're qualifying from Group E for the European Championship, qualifying with Croatia, Wales, Hungary, and Azerbaijan. They finished third behind qualifiers Croatia and Wales, but finished ahead of another qualifier, Hungary. So there's 4 qualifiers from their group. But yeah, it wasn't good enough to put them through to the playoffs from that route. So instead, it was through the Nations League where they finished bottom of Pool 1 of Group B in the Nations League, behind Czech Republic and Ukraine, who obviously both qualified. And they finished 8th in the rankings overall in Group B. But the 8 teams ahead of them actually had all already qualified. Turkey had qualified, who were behind them, so it was Slovakia and the Republic of Ireland that went through to the playoffs semi-finals from that pool, and they played Republic of Ireland in their playoff semi-final. They won on penalties.
This is like a really complicated route, isn't it?
These guys. Surely.
Won on penalties against the Republic of Ireland, and then beat Northern Ireland after extra time. So eventually got themselves there and booked their ticket into the Euro 2020. It was some way through, and I think the playoff final wasn't until November or December last year. So it's like a 3-year journey for them.
Yeah, Michael, did you watch their play that final?
Well, I remember watching our game with Ireland. I was pretty nervous that time, and we won on penalties. It was crazy stuff. Then with Northern Ireland, I was somewhere in Portugal that time, not really watching actually, but like when we advanced further, I was pretty happy. And yeah, now basically you could have seen I was not able to explain our qualification journey since it was really complicated. And I I want to thank to FPL Panda for explaining that actually.
That's all right. That's what he's here for.
Yeah, I think
he understands all the complicated stuff.
when we've spoken to others before, like there's a bit of a difference between like the opinions of the Nations League between like the bigger nations like England, Germany, Spain, Italy, France. Those bigger nations probably have a slightly different appearance than the nations like Slovakia, Hungary, and North Macedonia, all qualified via the Nations League, who probably see it as it's like it's an extra ticket, an extra opportunity to get through.
Right. So, Michael, who are your main players for Slovakia? Who are the players that you rely upon?
Guys, definitely Marek Hamšík, as pronounced in my language. So yeah, that was a playmaker for Napoli, for Italian club, and obviously he's the, let's say, best player for playing for Slovakia. Besides that, I like Kucka, another midfielder. He plays the role like, let's say Kante or DD, DD for Leicester. So yeah, that type of player. He can actually score some goals. So I would perhaps consider him in your fantasy teams. Definitely in the goal there is Martin Dubravka from Newcastle. He was injured this season for a pretty long time, so curious how it's gonna be with him. This time, I believe he's okay. So yeah.
Do you know, funny you say that. I know we are going to be, this recording is going to come out later, but in the Newcastle game against Sheffield United tonight, it looked like he tore his hamstring.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It was today, right?
Yeah, tonight.
Crazy
So he didn't. Yeah, it looked like there was some sort of tear or something. So I don't know how that will progress. But the time that this podcast will come out, I'm sure we will know what's happened. But yeah, it did look like he had some sort of injury towards the end of the game.
Well, that's bad, guys.
we shall
not
see.
great news.
In that case, there's a Kuciak, another goalkeeper, but like I would say, Dubravka is far more better. So let's see.
What would you say with the Slovakian team? Where would you say the strengths and the weaknesses lie? What are you guys really good at, and what are you not so good at?
Guys, we are definitely not good in scoring goals. So we don't have a shooter, or let's say, Harry Kane type of player who can actually convert his chances. So I wouldn't target in your fantasy squad our attackers, not at all. We can actually, let's say, kind of defend pretty good on the other hand. So perhaps likes of our defenders are okay. As I said, Dubravka is pretty fine. So yeah, mostly defenders and goalkeepers are okay.
So Hamsik's got a pretty hefty fee. What's Hamsik's fee? Is it 8 million?
8 million, yeah.
Yeah. Would you say that's really over? That's quite a lot of money then.
Yeah, it is, guys. I wouldn't invest in our players at all.
no Slovakian players.
Being honest, perhaps if you wanna target our opponents, then it's far more better, and I would advise you to target players of Spain or perhaps Poland. There's Lewandowski, so why not choose those players?
So would you say your defense is quite weak then? Because I did see that there was a few like 3-4-1 losses. Would you say that the likes of Spain and Poland will capitalize on you guys?
I honestly am gonna let's say quit my country, or like I'm sorry for saying that, but like we are underdogs, so I mean, on the right side there is Pekarik playing, and I would target our opponents on the left side. So yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is, if this was FPL and the first game was Poland against Slovakia, you would triple captain Lewandowski.
Well, why not? Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Please stop scoring.
Well, look, this podcast is not necessarily let's choose who the best players are from your team. It's insight, right? Like, so I know at the end of this, I am not choosing a single Slovakian player to go for. Are you going to be choosing any?
Like me, honestly, not really. Yeah, as I said, it really depends on our defensive. Yeah, on our defensive line, and there is a Skriniar, the center back. And if he plays good tournament, then we might do something. Otherwise, yeah, it's. I don't expect much from our team. We are pretty happy qualifying there, and we enjoying the tournament that way.
Okay, so I guess just two questions then with regards to fantasy. So are there any players that you can see that look to be out of position? So any players that are listed as midfielders but playing defense, or any players that are in defense listed as midfielders?
Yeah, I had a look beforehand, and I don't remember nobody like this. Yeah, everybody is in his right position actually.
Okay. And is there anyone that you can look at and go, do you know what, for that price, they look really good value, that if I was going to pick someone, this is the person that I would pick?
Yeah, I'm thinking about Milan Skriniar, as I mentioned, center back, and he's priced 5 million or 5 million. So let's say that would be an option. Besides that, Martin Dubravka in the goal, if he's healthy, then surely why not? Why not to invest? So that's about defensive players. In the offense, there is this Hamsik guy, Marek Hamsik, but he's priced 8 million. So that's quite a lot of money to invest in. If you consider people like, midfielders like Chiesa for Italy, or let's say, I don't know, Foden or Mount in England team, so you can invest your money better. Regarding our forwards, I'm not sure who's gonna play. I guess all of those four attackers are gonna be rotated. So Bak, Juric, Boženík, and Strelec. I guess everybody gets his chance to show his quality. And yeah, their price pretty okay, more or less. So yeah, let's see what their form is like.
Okay, Rob, have you got any questions for Michael?
I'm just going to take a stab in the dark. So Marek Hamsik, who we said is like the talisman of the team. He is by far, like, he's a world-class player. He's not just a very good player. He's the sort of player that could potentially lift the players around him. But does he, like, his role in the team, does he also have like set pieces, corners, free kicks, penalties? I mean, the big one everyone wants to know leading into this tournament, because of VAR, is who has the penalties, because the VAR, it's interpreted in different ways across different countries, and those officials will, like, there's not going to be one particular interpretation. It all depend on who the officials are that day, and if they happen to get someone that is from a country that gives a lot of penalties for VAR, is there a chance that he'll be stepping up to take a penalty?
Surely he's a penalty taker, so I believe if there's a penalty kick, then he takes it. And as far as I remember, he can actually convert. So why not to choose him? He's on the set pieces as well, and also taking some corners from time to time. So yeah, nice choice actually.
Yeah, it's just like, especially with the, like, smaller teams, you'll see them and especially in the group that you're in, with Poland, Spain, Sweden. You'll probably maybe sort of let the other team have a lot of the possession, and then try and counter attack or get a goal from a set piece or something like that. And if that's how you're going to end up scoring goals, maybe Hamsik picking up those assists, or if he can get a goal from a free kick or a penalty, could be a good option
Surely.
attacking wise. But yeah, like you said before, the price tag it might be a little too much considering the players around him.
Agree. Yeah. Surely, yeah. If he's tagged like 7 million, then yeah, far more better. And I would say also his ownership is higher at the time. If I had a look, he's owned by maybe 1% right now, so it's not that much. Anyway, yeah, I agree with what you said. If there is a counter-attacks or yeah, set pieces, then we can actually score some goals, and Hamsik is one of them.
Anything else, Rob?
No, we've got
that you'd like to know?
It's just I think everyone wants to know. Everyone wanted to know penalty takers, and yeah, it's just, I think it's an interesting one because of his price tag. It makes it very tricky, but like I think it's tournament football at the end of the day. Like yeah, you've got 3 tough opponents, but it could be worse. You could be Hungary, who have got like the toughest group going.
Spain, Portugal, and Germany.
No, France, Portugal, and Germany.
France, Portugal.
Yeah. But I mean, we've seen teams pick up upsets, and I mean Poland is probably the nicest game to kind of get you started in the group, maybe, where you can maybe get some sort of result that like lifts the confidence a bit.
Truly, I mean, yeah. I'm pretty happy we're not playing Spain at the beginning because, like, being honest, our let's say nature is to if we are put down, if we are losing first game, then we are having a bad tournament. But if we can start nice with Poland, scoring maybe a goal, not conceding any, winning 1-0. I believe if we draw with Sweden perhaps and having 4 points, everything can happen. And as I said at the beginning, we are underdogs, and I wouldn't invest in our players. I would maybe take it back, and there is a small chance everything can happen, and I'm looking forward for the tournament.
So, do you think you can get out of the group? What's your kind of hopes for Slovakia in the Euro?
There is a small hope every time, so we can be second after most probably Spain, right?
Okay. So before we go, I guess if there's one player that you could choose from Slovakia and you had to choose one player, who would that one player be? I know you said you wouldn't really choose one, and there's not anyone of really good value, but if you had to choose one based on the price and everything, who's the main one that you would choose?
I would be considering 3 players, so Skriniar, Hamsik, and Kucka. But if there is only one player to choose, then I would probably go with Hamsik. He actually also proved himself in the Swedish Allsvenska league. He scored a goal a week ago or something. So yeah, I believe he might be in form. He might be feeling good. Yeah, let's pick him.
I mean, the other interesting thing, just quickly, like we mentioned Dubravka, and like he has had a season played with injury, and I mean we don't know at the moment, but like right now we think he may be injured for the tournament. But you did say it would be Kusiak that would come in and be his replacement at 4.5 and potentially facing like lots of shots, especially against Spain and Sweden. Could that make him an option? Like if you might lose 2-0, but he might make 15 saves and pick up 5 points for you, or something crazy. Would you say? The Dubravka price tag's maybe a little too much, but if it's one of the 4.5 keepers that is in goal, because Dubravka's injured, would you go for one of them maybe? Or Kusiak?
Yeah, maybe. On the other hand, there is a small problem. Actually, I don't know who is going to be our replacement of Dubravka. If it's Kuciak or Rodak, since I believe Rodak for Fulham was playing only one match this season. Actually, there was Areola playing in his place, even though in the championship last season he played most of the games. So he's also a good replacement of Dubravka. But like as I said, yeah, it's really hard to choose between Kuciak or Rodak. So, it's nice price tag. It's only 4.5. But like if you are not sure if your goalkeeper is going to play, then it's probably not a good choice.
Yeah, I think because we've explored the sort of the really low budget goalkeepers a little bit. With we know that there's Fredecki in Finland. It's only 4 million, which is crazy, and he will start probably. Then you got Gulasic for Hungary, who's 4.5 in that tough group, probably making lots of saves. It's just whether in tournament football, finding a goalkeeper to get you clean sheets is quite hard. So picking up save points might be the way forward.
Yeah.
I don't know.
On the other hand, actually, we might make changes before game days, right? So if you choose two keepers around 5 millions or 4.5 millions, then you can rotate them. I mean, if first of your goalkeeper doesn't score points, then you can switch him for another one, right?
Yeah, you can take that gamble. Yeah, I mean, I think in this format, it's nicer to have that rotating. Those rotate like sometimes in FPL you kind of go right. I'll go for a 5 or 5.5 million goalkeeper, and then I'll pick the reserve keeper from the same team, like Dubravka and what's his name at Newcastle, and then
Darlow.
Carl Darlow at the beginning of the season was 4 million, so you could have both of them for like 8.5. And yeah, those sort of rotations. But in this format, where it's quite nice to have that backup because you can change through the game week. Maybe if Dubravka is out, then Kuciak or Rodak would be one to watch and keep an eye out maybe in the friendlies coming up to see who starts.
Honestly, I'm having Donnarumma from Italy and Szczęsny from Poland right now in my team. It's 10.5 millions altogether, so it's quite a lot. But like as I said, I plan to rotate them. So yeah, let's see.
Nice. Well, Michael, before we go, is there anything else that you'd like to say or talk about?
Well, guys, I hope all FPL community gonna enjoy the tournament. It's gonna be hopefully a nice couple of days to watch football, and try to support Slovakia. We'll be happy to have some supporters.
Sounds like you need it. From what you said to me.
Well, if they're leaving their country, then go and support someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Michael, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate your help and support for the community. Rob, anything from you before we go?
No, that's it from me, I think.
Right. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe and look out for our next installment. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.